Hi, welcome to our channel Check Globe. Today we'll talk about the biggest contributors to climate change. Let's dig in. In terms of contribution to climate change, there are several main sectors. You mentioned the energy sector. Could you tell us about other sectors and what are the contribution?
Yeah, single largest contributor to carbon emission is energy industry. So it's somewhere around 60 to 70% of global carbon emission. And from that, it's coal, right? If you look at the transportation sector, it's around 20 to 25%. So it's almost close to 100%. So it's mostly transportation and industry. In developing countries, it's more the proportion of transportation. In European Union, it's around 20% car industry. If we spread it differently, if you look at building sector, consume around 40% of emissions. So basically, we need to deal with transportation, buildings, and industry. Another significant sector is the land use and agriculture. That is how we produce food, how we produce meat, or what we consume, right? So, and this is around 20 to 25%. Again, it's interlinked to transportation and industry. Yeah, so that's why the emissions are relatively high here as well. Briefly say what needs to be done in agriculture. We will need to eat, right? We cannot stop eating, obviously. So you cannot stop using land for producing food. And probably you cannot stop agriculture from being source of carbon. It's theoretically there are management practices that are carbon neutral, like putting black carbon into the soil or charcoal into the soil, and you can even increase the fertility by putting carbon, and some of the carbon will stay there, right? So you have options how to put carbon into the soils and still being able to produce food. But probably practically this will not happen. It will not be global management practice, because it's not that easy to turn agriculture into carbon negative or carbon neutral industry or activity. But we can significantly reduce emissions of carbon from agriculture from this, let's say, 20-25% to several times lower, 5 times, 6 times lower, by putting sustainable or more sustainable practices into the management. This is also part of this reporting on emissions. So there are options for that, just we need to do them. But globally, agriculture will probably still stay carbon source, and this source is expected or to be neutralized by technologies